Live from New York, it's Ask This Engineer.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Ask Engineer. It's me, Lady Ada, with me, Mr. Lady Ada and the Muad'Dib, or the Emperor, either way, or Empire, sorry. And we're here at the Adafruit factory in downtown Manhattan. We manufacture and teach and learn and solder and code and hack and make mistakes and learn from them.
Yeah, sometimes.
All the time.
One thing, before we even get started, let me just say it right away. So we follow all the rules. We had masks on site. We've always had masks on site. So recently, we were able to take them off at our desk and stuff like that. But when we're at Adafruit, we have our masks on. Everyone's gone for the day, though, so it's just Lady Ada and I. So that's why we're not wearing masks right now.
We live together. Yeah, so.
Because what I don't want to do is have someone, in the comments. And so anyways, that is what's going on in New York. A lot of us are already boosted. Our team is safe. I'll talk about some of that stuff later, but that is why we're not wearing masks this second. So we're going to do a show tonight. We're going to do Ask an Engineer.
That's right.
We've been doing this for like a decade plus.
So they're fun.
Yeah. All right. Want me to kick it off?
Oh, yeah. Please kick it off.
I'm going to kick it off. Okay. On tonight's show, the code is Kintsugi. Kintsugi embracing the damage, because that is a way to go. Kintsugi's a code, 10% off in the Adafruit store all the way up to midnight, probably-ish. Anything in stock, and we do have stuff in stock. Surprise, surprise. Even with a global chip shortage and more, we're still treading water here. So use the code Kintsugi, load up your cart now, and check out before things are gone. We'll talk about our Adafruit Live series of shows, including Show and Tell, time travel, look around world makers, hackers, artists, engineers, news in the world, and more. Made in New York City factory footage, 3D printing. We got one of my favorite ones this week. INMPI, brought to you by DigiKey and Adafruit. We look at something really cool from digikey.com that Lady Ada says, hey, I got my eye on this NPI. New products, top secret. We're going to answer your questions. We do that over on Discord, adafruit.it/Discord or discord.gg/Adafruit. Join all 31,000 of us 24/7. The virtual hacker space, place to get help, and more, all on Discord. And this is Ask an Engineer. This is what we do. All right, Ada. So let's first do a little bit of news. Sorry, the Autobots and the Decepticons are here, and the Omicron is here as well. And, it's what it is. Our entire team got vaccinated already. We didn't have to do any mandates. No exemptions were asked for. And our team's getting boosters and flu shots and all that. And then in New York City, they're saying, hey, when you're indoors, wear a mask. We're not wearing one now because it's two of us here. And then the CDC recommended everyone over the age of 18 and older get a COVID booster shot. Check with your doctor and all that stuff. But I'll say this, as a company, as everyone got vaccinated, we didn't have anyone test positive. We've been in the clear for a really long time. Everyone took good care of each other. There is a way through this. Welcome to our lives, folks. It's just going to be, whatever Autobot of the week is going to be, up in our business. So please take good care of yourselves. If you need any help navigating things at your own company, we have a bunch of policies. It's worked out really well for Adafruit. Feel free to email me, pt@adafruit, here to help. And for regular biz stuff, Lady Ada, the code is Kintsugi. And the reason why it is because I was thinking about, and I've told this story so many times, I was thinking about this beautiful art form where you repair broken pottery with gold and other resins, and look how amazing this is. And the cracks and the trauma could eventually be beautiful. And here's an artist who did this to themselves. This is their own artwork, and you can see they have this mask on, and they have the it's a little bit of a art piece about COVID. But I thought this is kind of our lives right now, and we can fill these cracks and more, and all the things that we have to glue together with something beautiful. So I thought that's going to be the code this week. But in addition to the code, we have free stuff.
We do. We're back to freebies. We had a special freebie for the Feather Friday, Black Friday through Cyber Monday, Circuit Python Monday. That's over.
Actually, let me talk about that real fast.
Yeah.
So we ran out of these. The pink feathers are great. There's people in the chat. Take photos.
Sorry,
show them on social media and everything. They look beautiful. You're lucky you got them. We're going to have more later.
We will.
But anyways, so first tier.
Yeah. No. So right now we're back to our $99 Perma Proto giveaway. $149 or more, you get a Stemma QT board.
Yeah.
$199 or more, you get UPS ground shipping.
Yeah.
And $299 or more, you get a free Circuit Playground Blue Fruit, which is the Bluetooth Low Energy NR52840 version of the Circuit Playground Express.
Okay. We do a series of live shows, and one of them that we do is called Show and Tell. We had some folks on Show and Tell tonight. I thought Phil B's retro stuff was really good.
Jay came by with
Jay
some robots.
Jay came by, and not only did Jay show his owl, but we showed Minerva, which I believe the inside of Minerva must be Jay's
Could
owl.
be. Could be.
Yeah, and I think it was Clash of the Titans, and I think the name of the owl was like Boba or something, Bubba. But check it out. And then we had Liz stop by. We had Scott stop by to do things with code.circuitpython.org. It was
Yes.
a good show and tell. It was very neat.
Lots of
And then
visitors.
on Saturday or Sunday, depending on what we're doing now, because the weekends are pretty jammed with everything that we've been up to lately, we do Desk of Lady Ada. So the first half this week was...
Showing off this ESP32 S2 Cutie Pie that we designed. We got prototype PCBs actually a while ago. Finally sat down, decapped a S2 mini module so I could get the delicious chip from the inside and put together some prototypes, and the board worked, so that's really great. We also visited somebody in the hospital or some in rehab.
Yeah,
And showed off this Prince.
we did
Love it.
that, and then we did the Great Search. What was the Great Search this week?
Great search this week was UFL connectors, because there's a UFL connector on one version of that board, and I was like, oh yeah, people often want to add UFL connectors. They're very inexpensive and easy way to add a RF connector without a lot of space, and they're cheap. They're like 20 cents a piece.
Okay, so this weekend we're probably going to do Desk of Lady Ada on Saturday again.
Probably,
so
yeah.
tune in. It'll probably be early evening. Sunday we're going to go take a trip. JP's product pick of the week this week. This is the only show that I know of in the electronics world, at least, that broadcasts live from the product page, and the discounts are automatically applied, so you can tune into JP's show every single Tuesday. Here is the highlight of this week's JP's product pick.
Stemma speaker. It is a speaker and amplifier that's super easy plug and play. You can add it to a ton of different microcontroller boards and projects that need a little amp and a speaker. I've got it hooked up right now using one of our Stemma to alligator clip cable assemblies, and I have it hooked up to a Circuit Playground Bluefruit. And I'm running the signal over this audio pin here, which on this one is actually PWM, but you can use it with boards that have a DAC as well. And what I've got are a couple of buttons here that'll give us some sounds. And so you can see you get quite a big difference by having that pressed against something, which is how these little speakers are meant to be used. The Stemma speaker breakout board with amplifier.
Cool, and don't forget on Thursday, JP's workshop is happening, and here's a little bit of a treat. You're going to see one of the things that JP's going to show tomorrow. And on Friday, tune into Scott's show, Scott's Deep Dive. From what I understand, Scott might be showing the behind the scenes of authoring on the Learn system that we have at Adafruit, and he's going to show how to make your own CircuitPython on bare metal Raspberry Pi, and he'll show the guide as he's doing this. So I think that'll be kind of cool.
Cool.
All right, time travel. Let's turn back the clock, Lady Ada. And see what's going on all the way back to, I don't know, yesterday.
Okay.
Yesterday was so far away.
I know.
So
Yesterday
was Tuesday, and yes, there's Black Friday. Yes, there's sales over the weekend, and yes, there's Cyber Monday. But my favorite thing during this time is Giving Tuesday, and so Giving Tuesday is when you can donate to a cause, donate your time to a cause. Adafruit does paid days off for charity. We do 5 paid days off for charity. That means any 501(c) that anyone wants to donate their time to, they can. We might even add more next year. And what we did this year is we said, hey, Adafruit team, what are all the different charities, groups, things? We asked some folks in the community and more. And so I just wanted to go over a few of them and we took over our blog. Blog turned into a place where people can find causes that are maybe interesting to them and they can be part of. So this is Feeding NYC. This is one of the ones that Lady Ada and I did. We went and we did kits and shipping, and feeds about 8,500 homeless families in New York City in the 5 boroughs. Here's Lady Ada breaking down some boxes. Here's the turkeys getting shipped off, and you could check them out. They do it every single year. They've been doing it for 20 years. It's one of the ones that we like to do. Here is Giving Tuesday, the My Vote Project. Here is NYC Warn. This one is a nonprofit tackling the acceleration crisis posed by climate change. This one is Vocal NYC, another voting rights group. This one hit the heart. Giving Tuesday and Tandem Bike. So they team up people with sight to be in the first seat in the tandem bike, and they team up another person who doesn't have sight, and they get pedaled around and they get to ride a bike.
That's fun.
And they pedal too and everything. And it's beautiful, and some of our team members do it. This is amazing. So I'm not going to go through all of them because there's like 80-something. Our team is really active in participating in their communities. But it just goes on and on and on. And there's so many good charities, and there's so many good groups that need your help. You can do stuff online. We have some tech ones like the Tor Project, Hack the Hood, that's in San Francisco, Rise Up, lots of online safety and privacy, EFF, protecting your digital rights online, Kids in Tech, Public Knowledge. We have archive.org, we've got the OSI, we got ASHA, we got Black Girls Code, we've got, you name it, it's there. And then we went to an art exhibit not too long ago, and they're in there too.
Oh, great.
And so we put everyone in there. So do check it out. And, if you've been working from home and things are going good for you and you're like, well, maybe you could spend a couple bucks or a couple hours and help someone else out. Just to be straight up, and I don't mind telling some, personal stories once in a while. I don't know what other people do to get rid of the pain. Maybe you do drugs or alcohol, or maybe you do other things. None of those things. You do electronics. None of those things work for me. The only thing that seems to work is helping others. It does seem to take the pain away. So I could tell you, if you're going through something, help others. It feels good. The more you give, the more you get. Next up, Adafruit.io. So this is a big one. Whippersnapper is releasing new features constantly. So you know all about this one. What is this new thing that's out now?
Okay, we have pushed into production support, the beginnings of support for I2C sensors. So this is the thing that really differentiates Whippersnapper from other like no-code IoT setups, because it will automatically let you set up I2C sensors, not just analog inputs and digital inputs. So starting with the HT20, which is very low cost but very common I2C temperature and humidity sensor, if you wire this up to a Whippersnapper supported board's I2C port, it'll be able to scan the I2C address and detect that this was found, and then you can enable temperature and humidity feeds that will automatically get sent, so you don't have to write any code or configuration. It'll automatically set up the device for you. And this is the first I2C device, and yes, we'll be adding more I2C devices, but we wanted to start with one, get that going really well, and then fix any bugs, and then we're going to add more sensors. We're also looking for a way to dynamically add sensors so that other people who want to add support for custom sensors and devices can add them. But what I'd really love to do is have, our feather boards, people can plug in, any I2C sensor and device and just automatically get, temperature, humidity, air quality, GPS data, automatically updating wirelessly. So it's step one of a very long journey.
Okay, and we have a short video. I think we played it before. We're going to play it again because it's the IO video that you were working on at the time. So I'm going to play that, and then we're going to see you on the other side in just a second. Lady Ada, what is this?
I'm testing out some new Whippersnapper features. So this is a Funhouse board. It's an ESP32S2, and it's got an AHT20 temperature and humidity sensor down here. And up here on Whippersnapper, this is the beta. So this is private, but will be released soon. If you go all the way to the right here, I can add a new component, and the new component is an HT20 sensor. And it does an I2C scan and detects the address. And then I can set it up to send data every 30 seconds. Create the component. And boom, I've got 2 new feeds with humidity and temperature data coming in automatically. No code I2C sensor data from your dev board to Adafruit IO.
Okay, and next up, we have our Internet of Things monthly newsletter. Brent and team have been doing a great job with this. So in case you missed it, we have the follow-up post, which has all of the things in it. So IoT projects that you may want to do. Wow, that scrolled fast. Okay.
All.
I've been working on my scroll muscle. IoT projects, automated morning coffee routine, putting a Wi-Fi router into a iPhone wall charger, how to get iOS IoT project quickly off the ground, integrating plot watering into an existing home automation system, extracting data from a smart scale, Pogo pin lock and key with MQTT, connecting a robot cat to the internet, IoT news and more, building an IoT product from production feedback loop. The ESP32H2 recognizes a thread certified component and a Zigbee compliant platform. No battery, no problem. The future of Internet of Things. And then we have some of the things that Adafruit is up to, including Adafruit IO, the IO platform for everyone. That's our IoT stuff. A little bit of a reminder, go to adabox.com. We are shipping Winter Edition, and we're doing that probably in January, February-ish. You could give the gift that keeps on giving. Get it, Adabox. We're going to run out, so do it now. And we'll be shipping a couple months.
Yep.
It's time for some Python on hardware. Blinka, blinka, blinka. Okay, so Lady Ada, we have cooperative multitasking in CircuitPython 7 now. It's in beta. You want to kind of explain that a little bit?
Yeah, it's the Python, traditionally when we run CircuitPython code, or even Python code in general, you're writing all your code in one big program that, everything executes one instruction at a time, and it's the next instruction in the list. And that's great for a lot of projects, but as people are doing more complicated hardware, they might want to have things that are on timers or interrupting a task to check on something else. Like you have NeoPixels that are displaying a pattern and you want to read buttons that then change the pattern. And doing some of that stuff, usually you would use stuff like threads or multitasking, having multiple threads of execution that share some data or control. And there's a couple different ways to do this in CPython, but folks have pretty much settled on using async and async IO as well as like helper libraries. And this has been supported in MicroPython. People for a while have been asking us like, hey, why don't you support it in CircuitPython? But we want to take a couple tweaks to it to make it more CPython compatible. So it's the code that you write for CircuitPython will run on a Raspberry Pi or in desktop computers, and it's much more cross-platform in that way. But we've started writing guides and implementing support in 7.1.0 beta. We had some earlier support, but we changed it around enough that really you should just start from scratch if you've written async IO code for CircuitPython before. And we're working with MicroPython to like collaborate and make libraries that help make async IO easier for people together that'll run on both platforms, because again, it's a CPythonism. It's not unique to MicroPython or CircuitPython. But basically, you want multitasking, we got it. And there's also a fact in there about what other stuff we're going to support and what stuff we're not going to support and why we're not supporting it, because there's good reasons.
It's like we always say, sometimes it's more important what you don't do than what you do.
Yeah, especially with threading and multitasking. Having written thread code in Python for decade plus now, there's definitely things that Python used to do that they're like, please don't do this anymore because it just doesn't really work very well. And people, the joke is you put yourself in the shot because you can't do things in the right order.
Like
yeah.
All right, next up, if you want to be assured to have your project on Adafruit, just do something like this. This is the Dune Pain Box, the Gom Jabbar from Dune with a Raspberry Pi. They made a video, and it has, like you put your hand in it, and it tells you about the pain. It's the recreation of the Gom Jabbar scenes from the Dune, the 1984 David Lynch one, but let me see here. Yeah, and they show it as you put your hand in it. It has the same audio, and so I thought that was really cool. And there's Colin Bogdan. He's like the pain. So I
guess
thought
if you,
this is neat.
If you pull your hand out, like it sticks to you with the poison
Well,
needle?
I think it's not that dangerous. So it's on Instructables, and you can find out more. And cool project. There's a lot of Dune stuff. We have a Dune prop that we're going to show tonight as well. So that's the highlights from the newsletter. There's a lot going on, but I do have a video or a thing I wanted to show. So I was hoping someone would do this eventually. This is the Farmer Says, and someone's modding it now with CircuitPython, and you can see that the innards are now going to be CircuitPython compatible, so you'll be able to do a bunch of cool stuff with it. So as this project evolves more,
Fun.
we'll show it off. So cool. And you know, that's one of the things. The CircuitPython board shows up as a USB drive, so that means you can drag and drop things like MP3s or WAV files, and you can always update the code and always do all sorts of things. And technically, that thing's now a USB drive. So, okay, and then a little bit of a sneak peek. We're doing more Blinka art. So here's some of them. We wanted to do some Blinka Bluetooth, Blinka Bob Ross, Blinka art, and Blinka, you know, just kind of pointing the finger at you. It's like the Spider-Man thing. It's like, you did it, I did it, no, we did it. And
That's
then,
the cooperative multitasking.
That's cooperative multitasking. And then gaming Blinka. And that's our Python and hardware news this week.
Thanks, Blinka.
All right, take it away, Adafruit Factory. Adafruit Factory footage coming right up. And it wouldn't be New York City factory footage without the Disney headquarters being built across the street. It's so loud now that
It's so loud.
So we're changing some of the. So we keep windows open for ventilation because we have like amazing, great ventilation that also keeps things like, you know, airborne diseases at bay. But it's really noisy, so you have to not open up some of the windows and some of the locations. We have to move where we're opening up. But anyways. That's made in New York City
It's
factory
so loud.
footage. All right, 3D printing time. All right, no and Pedro are back. Okay, so we got two things. We're going to show their project, and then we're going to show speed up, and then we're going to show you the speed up in person. So stick around. See you on the other side.
Hey, what's up, folks? In this project, we're making a 3D printed menorah. We designed and 3D printed a menorah that lights up with NeoPixel LEDs. We came up with a minimalistic design with parts that snap fit together and print without any supports. We wanted to make the assembly modular so it's easy for folks to put together. A button lets you light up a NeoPixel on each night of Hanukkah. The shamash stays lit, and on the first night, the NeoPixel on the far right is lit. The bulbs are printed in translucent PLA, and the NeoPixels are fitted inside these little holders. The bulbs are hollow to better diffuse the LEDs so they illuminate nicely. The NeoPixels are chained together using Molex cables so they can easily be connected. The wires are housed inside the base with top and bottom covers that snap fit. This project is powered by the Adafruit QtPi RP2040 running CircuitPython. The QtPi is secured to the bottom cover and just snap fits into the built-in holder. The bottom has a cutout so you have access to the USB-C port. It can be powered by a 5-volt USB supply from either a computer or wall outlet. We have the QtPi RP2040 running CircuitPython with the LED animation library. When the button is pressed, the next pixel is lit up in sequence and the center pixel is skipped. The pixel map helper in the LED animation library allows you to light up each pixel one by one. With quick iterations and the USB drive, CircuitPython is the best way to get your projects going. I designed the menorah in Fusion 360 and made it parametric so it's easy to modify the dimensions. It's fairly modular and a nice starting point for folks who want to add more features. The design source is free to download and links to the files are down in the description. The 9 holders feature threads on the bottom and screw right into the top cover. The NeoPixels are fitted through the top with the wiring going through the holders. Cables are connected with the data flowing from one LED to the next one in line. Be sure to check out the Learn Guide for full step-by-step tutorial on building this project. I had a great time building this and hope this inspires you to check out the QtPi RP2040 and CircuitPython. Thanks for watching and be sure to subscribe for more projects from Adafruit.
So we have them, and so I have 2. This is a 3D printed one from Pedro, and you can see it's clear. And
So it got this nice translucent effect.
yeah, and we're gonna put it on the overhead in a second, and then you know, there's these like licensees that do props for movies, and so I got one of those too. And I actually like the 3D printed one, but let's go to the overhead and show this
Yeah,
off.
I feel like you could, if you wanted the weathering effect, you know, we have guides that talk about weathering. So this is silver PLA, black PLA, and then translucent, and it's got a really nice effect to it. And it's a little pointy.
Yeah, and then you know, show these 2 off next to each other. So that's the replica one. And,
This
you know,
is the replica.
we didn't add any paint. You know, you could put some black paint and then rub it off, and you could do all those things. But like,
This is not bad.
Yeah, this is like really nice
For a prop.
So, you know, no sandworms were hurt in the making of these. At least I don't think so. But you know, when you look at these, it's not bad at all.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Gonna fight?
No. I'll use my mind. Okay, so that's the.
Give
that's
me
the
your
Chris
water.
Nice. I know. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a really good scene in the new Dune where you know they got to get off the planet and they're talking to Stilgard, and they're like, hey, like we could give you all sorts of stuff. And he's like, what wolf could you possibly give me other than the water in your flesh? Ugh. So when anyone asks us what our exit strategy is again, we're just going to start saying that. We're like, the water in your flesh.
Yeah.
And we'll just walk around with these.
Give it to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So let's keep moving along, Lady Ada. Mm-hmm. Do you know what it's time for?
No.
Ion MPI.
on MPI.
This week's Ion MPI, brought to you by DigiKey and Adafruit, is from Blues Wireless. Lady Ada, what is this week's Ion MPI?
Oh, okay. So this week's IMPI is from Blues Wireless. They're kind of they're not super new, but they're a couple year old, I think, a cellular service and hardware company. It's basically make IoT really easy. Right now they're focusing on cellular. And so I saw their note cards and note card carriers pop up on digikey.com/new. So check this out. So, they're two products, but we'll talk about the note cards first. So the note card is an M.2 Key plug-in card. And each card kind of has everything you need to, get going with the cellular system. As you can see, it's got UFL antenna connectors. It's got an embedded SIM with pre-provisioned AT&T network connectivity, voltage regulators and managers. There's an onboard Cortex M4. There's a ST safe, so there's like a key hardened private key holding device for secure authentication. You'll need that if you want to connect to like AWS and stuff securely. And there's accelerometer and temperature sensor. So that's good for asset management if you want something's been moved or if the temperature's changed on the back. And I'll show these modules on the overhead later. There's a cellular module, and there's different Quectel modules on each side. And basically, when you purchase the card, you're purchasing service as well. That's sort of the deal here. Each one comes with a 10-year connectivity and 500 megabytes of data. Of course, you can purchase more data and more time. Everything is SSL and secured over the cellular network. And they have three different, they actually have multiple networks, but they support LTE-M, NB-IoT, or Cat1. And we'll talk about that in a bit, why you might want one or the other. And the idea here is you just have 4 different cards. Each card has a slightly different amount of support. You plug it into your dev board or their dev board, and then you connect to their cloud. And the cloud, redirects the data from your device into AWS or onto your cloud app. Everything's done with JSON data. So I guess underneath you can do HTTP, or you can do maybe SOAP, CoAP, or MQTT, and 500 megabytes, which is what it comes with. It's not a lot of data if you have a data plan, but if you're transmitting temperature data or motion activity or GPS and stuff, 500 megabytes will last you quite a while. That said, you can always get more. I saw one really funny comment on YouTube. Somebody said, "I want more data," and somebody from Blue said, "How much?" And they said 501 megabytes. So yes, you can buy more megabytes. But the idea here is that when you get it, you don't have to do separate provisioning. It's a kind of pre-provisioned for you. And I saw something interesting because these are both PTCRB, and you don't need to know the end customer like you do with SIM cards because it's only IoT. It's not voice or SMS. It's only this NB-IoT or Cat1M. You don't need to have identifying information about the end user. They can pre-provision it on the cellular network with AT&T, which is quite nice. It's one of the steps that's annoying about doing cellular is you have to go and register and get a SIM card. So there's 4 different modules, and you can see here there's global, North America, narrowband, wideband. Which one you get first off depends on the coverage, and we'll talk about that, but also how much data you want to pass. So narrowband, of course, is going to be like NB-IoT is you can look at the bit rates. I don't know them off the top of my head, but you're going to get much lower bit rates with NB-IoT versus LTE Cat1. LTE Cat1 can transmit a fair amount of data, but you might have to pay more, and also you may not be able to get global coverage. So you can see the NB-IoT. A module, there's one module that can run anywhere in the world using the Quectel BG95 M3, but there's no such thing as a global module for Cat 1. LTE Cat 1, you have to choose either it's going to be Europe, Middle East, Africa, or North America. This is part of the cellular networks. If you've ever done stuff with cellular, you'll know that not every country has coverage for every type of network, especially since a lot of them are getting shut down or being transitioned, and those are all happening at different rates. So this is more information about the cellular service. It's AT&T underneath. So you'll have to, depending on where your product or device is going to be deployed, are you keeping it in North America? Are you watching this from Europe? Are you in Australia? Are you in Japan? It will differ about what is the remote network that's being handed off to do the wireless network. I basically say they're kind of focusing right now on North America. If you're outside North America, I'd probably contact them and say hey, the majority of my customers or clients are in this country. What cards you recommend I do for this bit rate, and they'll probably be able to help you out. So I did, want to say because some people say well, why LTE and why is it not 4G and why is it, some of them do GPRS. This is the Verizon network maps because they have this kind of cute little clicky click thing. So this is not the AT&T map. This is just demonstrative of the kind of stuff you'll want to look into. So LTE-M has this coverage in North America. And then if you click over to NB-IoT, you'll see Canada isn't covered, but the United States is. NB-IoT has been rolled out over the U.S. A lot more, but it's not rolled out almost anywhere else in the world. Whereas GPRS and GSM, you see, is non-existent in North America, and we found it's true. T-Mobile still has some GPRS cell networks, but almost all that bandwidth has been transferred over to LTE networks. Everyone's been moving off of 2G, except you'll see there, if you're in Mexico, you still have 2G. So again, you gotta research where are you going to use these modules to determine. And then, again, looking over at Europe, again, this is the AT&T map, this is the Verizon map, not the AT&T map, but Verizon it has GPRS and GSM, so you see all that yellow and orange, but there is no NB-IoT, or at least none enough visible on this map. So eventually, everything will have NB-IoT support, but it's coming slowly as LTE is rolling out. Okay, so the reason we talk about this is because one of the things that's really annoying about cellular, and I know this about cellular, is that networks are constantly being brought up and taken down. So 10 years ago, we launched a whole bunch of 2G modules, and then now they're pretty much useless. And even 3G modules are starting to get sunsetted. So what I liked about the Blues Wireless modules is they have this M2 plug-in module. You can get the connectors from DigiKey for under $1. We even have a great search about this. And you see they have it in stock, so you don't have to worry about silicon shortages. And then you plug in whatever module you need. So if you have a product that you're I have European customers, Japanese customers, Australian, Northern African, Southern African, Mexican, Canadian, whatever, each one of them you can plug in the module that makes sense for that customer base. And if the networks change over time, because 2G will eventually get shut down worldwide, you can change it out pretty easily. It's even user serviceable. I no one necessarily have the end-to-end customer do it, but a technician with very little skill could go in, screwdriver, pop it out, put it back in. You can't put it in backwards. So I think that's kind of this kind of the smartness that they're bringing here is the realization that these networks are going to constantly be updating and changing. They also have a lot of code examples, so do check out the GitHub. They've got a getting started guide. They kind of promise within 30 minutes you'll get up and running. And with the note cards is the note carrier series. So there's 4 different note carriers, 4 different note cards, different note carriers. Mix and match, right? Whichever one fits into whichever. Here are 2 battery-powered ones and developer ones. They also have, it's a feather one. That's quite nice. Thank you. There's a feather carrier, and there's a Raspberry Pi hat carrier. I also like that they have an I2C connector on there, and it's, I think, Grove compatible, but we have a Grove to Stemma and quick adapter cable. So if you want to use our sensors with this to add humidity sensing, for example, you can do that. Best of all of these things are in stock at DigiKey. Yes, all of them are in stock, which is pretty amazing, considering it uses both a cellular module and an STM chip. 2 things which are extremely hard to get nowadays, but they were able to get some inventory, and you can buy these right now. They are actually in stock.
We have the short URL and the DigiKey search there, but you can just search for Blues Wireless. And do you want to show it off? And then we're
Yeah.
going to play a video. The video is about 3 minutes long.
That's a good video.
So yeah, it's worth it.
Okay, so let's go.
So let's show it on the overhead. And
So I'll say I didn't get the feather carrier. I probably should have, but I didn't
Yeah.
realize.
collect them all.
Yeah, I was not paying attention. So this is the carrier module, the prototyping, and then this is the module, and this is what one of them looks like. So this one, I think this is the NB-IoT Global. I think NBGL is probably what it means. And then this is the module on the back, and you can see this. Oh, I screwed this on. And then I forgot to bring a Allen wrench. Hold on.
You have it on the whiteboard at home.
I know. Hold on.
This is what we call dead air in the
I
disc.
can I can unscrew it by hand. It's just
Lady Ada
Okay.
has a Allen wrench shaped nail.
yes. So you lock it. So yeah, you basically can easily disconnect the UFLs, and then plug in the module you want, and then these modules are what you would use in your end product as well. So this is really great for prototyping because you get the exact same hardware that you'd use in your final design. And I like it's got battery, it's got solar, it's got all the antennas, and even though you might want larger antennas, you can always connect them over UFL. They do have some simple built-in ones, so you can get started immediately. And then USB for quick commands, and headers for plugging in other sensors. So very nice. Oh, and then I forgot to mention these also have GPS, GNSS support as well, which is quite common. You can also do location based off of cellular triangulation, but GPS is of course going to get you better precision and accuracy.
Okay, and we're going to play the video. It's really good. We'll see you on the other side.
Take it away.
Iot MPI, and then we're going to bounce into the next segment after that.
Cellular is the most ubiquitous, stable, and secure method for adding connectivity to devices. For developers, it's also the most expensive and complex. Cellular modems still use communication patterns from the dial-up days. Dev kits try to abstract away those old patterns, but saddle you with narrow guardrails by dictating the MCU, RTOS, language, and IDE that you have to use. And when it comes to cost, most cellular IoT devices include monthly fees and data plans that you are responsible for, regardless of whether or not the device is even in use. At Blues Wireless, we aim to change that and make wireless IoT as developer-friendly and accessible as Wi-Fi. And it starts with the Note Card. The Note Card is a device-to-cloud data pump that's ready to embed into new and existing applications. It includes a powerful cellular and GPS module, an embedded SIM, and an onboard secure element with keys and certificates added at the point of manufacture. The Note Card is a deceptively simple cellular IoT device with no fees that just works when you power it on. 10 years and 500 megs of data are included in the cost of the device, and devices start at $49. You'll never get a monthly bill for cellular usage. Compared to other solutions, the Note Card is up to 10 times less expensive over the lifetime of the device. When it comes to sending and receiving data, the Note Card is a data pipe for your projects. Your MCU sends simple JSON requests and receives JSON responses. You don't need to issue AT commands to turn on the radio, send data, receive data, or anything. The powerful features of the Note Card are wrapped up in a JSON-based API that is simple and flexible. Finally, the Note Card works with any host device, from powerful single-board computers to 8-bit microcontrollers, meaning that you can get started with your favorite development board and programming language. It's an easy-to-program module without unnecessary guardrails. IoT solutions may start with sensors, actuators, and hardware, but they don't end there. In the Blues Wireless ecosystem, NoteHub.io is your secure conduit for device-to-cloud connectivity with the Note Card. NoteHub.io facilitates the flow of JSON data from your MCU to your cloud application. With built-in integrations to major cloud providers, support for HTTP and MQTT endpoints, and a JSON-based data transformation capability, the Note Card and NoteHub create a JSON data pipe that allows you to forget about the complexities of getting device data to the cloud. With the Note Card and NoteHub.io, cellular IoT is finally developer-ready. See for yourself today at blues.io and start building your IoT solutions with no strings attached.
You wanted to hold up something.
I just wanted to say it was my mistake. There was an Allen wrench actually included in the packaging, which was underneath, and I
but
didn't
you were
notice
resourceful. It was a good test.
it. It was there
You passed.
all this time, and yeah,
All right.
thank you. Sorry.
Okay, so we're going to do new products in just a second. Kintsugi is the code. Hello, my damaged, beautiful people out there. This is for us. This is us. That's what the code's for. But you know, these things that happen can end up being something wonderful. Here we go, lady. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. Do something?
New.
I was singing today when I was working, and Lady Ada she said I was an
okay.
owl. She said I was like an owl.
That's a cute owl.
So let's kick it off. What do we got first?
Okay, first up, we've got 2x10 pin IDC cables. These are useful for like JTAG debugging, but also there's like boards once in a while that have IDC connectors on them. We already stuck a couple different sizes, but I don't remember why, but I decided that these would be handy to stock as well. So good job me. I don't remember. Probably
Yeah.
JTAG debugging if you want to extend your JLink out and then use an adapter on the other side.
Next up.
Next up, I really like these bent metal, kind of like heavy duty rework station. This is great for hot air, but also soldering in general. So it's got this metal plate, and it's a little bit thick, and then there's these magnetic posts that come with it, and the metal posts unscrew, and then you can attach your PCB on it securely, and then there's two alligator clips as well. So let me show how it works.
We're gonna get the thing here. I like that we have to sort through the Dune Chris knives to get to the new products. This is kind of a dream.
Okay, so each PCB here comes with one of these little magnetic feetsy things. So this unscrews, and then inside there's a little like a spacer doodad, and then the PCB slides into the spacer, and then you screw down the thumb screw, and when you do that, it secures. Secures that, and then we do the other side. So they give you 4, but you don't need all 4. You can secure it down with 2. And now this is nice and solid, and it's lifted off the board so that if you have a double-sided board or you have something on the bottom you don't want to overheat, but you can solder and rework it and adjust it and move it all on this nice metal base. And then there's also little like alligator clippy type things, and they even put the protectors on the alligator clip ends, which I really like. So it's a nice little workstation. It's very compact, but I like how flexible it is. You can do any size board.
Okay, next up, let's go to a wide assortment of tiny micro SD cards, and you're going to ask, why would I need these? But Lady is going to tell you.
So these are there's micro SD cards in small sizes, like 64 megabytes, like 256 megabytes, like 512 megabytes,
Yeah.
and then last week we put in the 128.
You're going to need these, trust me.
Okay, so the thing about these is they're actually just plain SD. So not SDHC or SDXC, which is really good when you're dealing with old devices. If you have an old device and you're like, I plugged in a micro SD card and it doesn't recognize it because the micro SD card is too large, or the micro SD cards these days act kind of funky. These cards they're very basic and they're very plain, and we love them for that. There's nothing funky or special going on. They're just class 4. They have small capacities, but they're also inexpensive. And if you're doing a lot of data loggers and you need 50 SD cards, you don't need a lot of space. It can add up if you're using 8 or 16 gigabyte cards. Basically the price of SD cards stays the same, but the capacity increases. So we wanted to find ones that really were only a couple dollars, and so we got a range from 512 down to 64 megabytes. Very handy. I already had a couple people contact us and say this was great for reviving some old technology that wasn't happy with the new SDXC cards.
Yeah, and you can get the adapter, put it in, and then now you're back in business. Also, if you're doing micro controllers like we are, and there's an SD card slot, we want to be able to get some of these things out and have a pretty good price point. So a 64 megabyte card might be all you need.
Yep.
Next up.
we've got this cool keyboard case that also is a perfect case for a Pi 400. It's what we got it for, but it was also probably good for your 60% cards. So the case is kind of like a hard case. It's padded. It's got a nice little handle.
It's like a Nintendo Switch case. It's cool.
It's a little bit like a Nintendo Switch case, and it's like perfect for your Pi 400. We recommend putting it face down because there's like these little nubbins on the bottom that will protect the keys. And then there's a pocket that you can fit stuff in, like a mouse or an HDMI cable. You can fit the USB power supply cable that comes with the Pi 400 kit. I will say, just like, you have to arrange it in a way so it's like the pointy end doesn't go against the thicker part of the Pi 400, and that way you can actually close the case. It's a little bit of a tight fit, but it does fit. And
Okay, you want to shut it off? Yeah, I got a
keep
couple
for
more
the
of
images. Okay, so it zips closed. It's quite nice. And then here's what it looks like open. And here's another way of putting it. But if you fit it this way, just be careful if you have like the power supply.
Okay, let's.
Oh, I thought I would just actually hold it up because
let's do
it's
that.
quite
Okay.
large. So it's like this, and then we have it with the power supply. But of course, if you don't need a power supply, it folds up much nicer. And if you have keyboards, you can use it for keyboards too. But we got it specifically for the Pi 400.
Keyboards, keybs, and soon keyboards.
Yeah, keyboards. And then it's a nice hard case. So it's not like hard, but it's firm. It's not soft. So you can definitely put this in a backpack or luggage or whatever. Take it outside. And while it's not like waterproof, like if you dunk it underwater, there's a little bit of gap in the zipper. But it'll definitely keep it from getting dirty. So good for students, I think, if they're carrying their Pi 400s to and from workshops or classes, or if you just want to have a safe place
Get
to
the
keep
accessory.
it. Nice accessory.
Cool. And the star of the show tonight, besides you, Lady Ada, besides our team here at Adafruit, our community, our
carrying
customers. By the way, there's lots of great folks from Minnesota here tonight. You lived in Minnesota for a while.
Just for like a summer.
I lived there a long time. And there's a bunch of people. I think we have some mutual acquaintances and more. Our CFO's from Minnesota. There's all sorts of good things in Minnesota. Anyways, Minnesota's also the star of the show. But
Don't you know?
But the thing that folks should consider, and this is why I'm doing it this week, is an Adafruit gift certificate. So get them an Adafruit gift certificate because it is the best gift certificate. It never expires. We don't market to you. We don't harvest your emails. We don't spam the person who's going to get it. We don't do anything like that. All it is a gift certificate, and they can use it forever at the Adafruit store because there's going to be some stuff that's in stock and some stuff that's not in stock. So stock up on gift certificates.
Yeah.
You can get unlimited of them. They're virtual, and we have a really nice graphic you can print out and more. And that is this week's new products.
Thank you. New.
Okay, so there's some questions lined up. I'm going to get to those, but we're going to do some top secret. We're just going to go to it right away.
Yes.
Top secret.
Shh. It's in the vault. Does that have sound?
It's like Mission Impossible. It's all sorts of stuff. There's a caper.
Okay.
Capers are tasty.
Okay. Put your questions in the chat.
Put it in the Discord chat. So I'm going to play two videos. These are the ESP32 S2 mini cutie pies, and then we're going to talk about some things, and then we're going to do the questions. Ready?
Yep.
Lady Ada, what is this?
Hey, it's late night turkey day, and I thought I would digest some of that delicious yams that I ate and work on a new cutie pie. So y'all know the cutie pie SAMD21 and then the cutie pie RP2040, right? So what's the next thing? It's a cutie pie with an ESP32 S2 on the back. And this has 2 megabytes of PS RAM, 4 megabytes of flash built in. You got a little NeoPixel antenna. Got the design going on. I'm going to bring this up and do the CircuitPython definition. Don't forget, we've got Feather Friday happening. Pick up feathers from the store and get big discounts. And if you order $99 or more, you get a free pink Adafruit Feather RP2040. Ooh, it's so pink. So I'll post up more updates on this cutie pie ESP coming soon.
Lady, what is this?
Hey, I am testing out prototypes for the ESP32S2 cutie pie. This is a little compatible for our RP2040 version and our SAMD21 version. Oh, got those swapped. And what I'm doing right now is doing Wi-Fi tests where I'm connected to Adafruit IO and I'm publishing temperature and humidity from this STEM QT connector temperature and humidity sensor. And you can see here's the code. It's in CircuitPython. And here's the dashboard. So we've got the humidity and temperature. And then if I change this, say, to red, you'll see that the LED on here changes to red too. All good stuff. So far, so good. I'm going to do a couple more changes. Don't forget, all this weekend, we've got Black Friday and Feather Friday giveaway. $99 or more, you get a free pink RP2040 feather. Look at how cool that is. Anytime you order from Adafruit, $99 or more.
Okay, and so we had some photos of it because, it's so tiny, so cute. And then we also posted up the pins for it, the schematic. I think this was like as you were working on it, right?
Yeah.
And then we also have this nice silk. And then you gave me something to post up also.
Oh, I made a little TFT breakout for this cute little TFT coming out soon.
Yeah. And that's the back of it. And
Yeah.
that's top secret.
Yay.
Okay. So we're just gonna roll right into questions.
Let's do some questions.
Okay, boop, boop, boop. You got questions, we got answers. That was the old Radio Shack slogan when, speaking of my time in Minneapolis, we were working, I've worked with multiple iterations of Radio Shack at Make Magazine and then also when I was at Fallon. That's how I measure time now. How many new owners of Radio Shack is there? Okay, let's do the questions right now, Lady Ada. So the first one is, someone has an RP20 SparkFun one. How do you unbrick it?
I'm sorry?
So they have the SparkFun RP2040 board and they bricked it.
RP2040s can't be bricked. The bootloader's in ROM, so just hold down the boot button or whatever it's called while you plug it into USB and then let go of the boot buttons and it'll pop up with the bootloader.
Okay, question. I have a Pimeroni Pico LiPo at RP2040. I put CircuitPython on it around 7 beta. I somehow hose it so I can't get it to turn on anymore. Any ideas how I might troubleshoot it or should I write it off?
If it doesn't turn on anymore, that's, you probably, something could have gotten damaged with the power supply. But if the power supply still is working, then if it's a RP2040, yeah, just hold down the boot button while you plug into USB, and then the bootloader will show up, and then you can reload code onto it.
Okay, I'll answer this one. Question, if you had an Amazon store, would, for people in Europe, not be easier to buy without extra import tax? Thanks. So go to adafruit.com/distributors, and you can look at the thousands of distributors, and you can also do things like get it from DigiKey. You can get it from Mouser. They have European offices, European distribution, European stuff and more. And then we also shop local. Probably somewhere in Europe, there is an Adafruit distributor. We have thousands of them. Okay, next up, I'm an undergrad in electronics. How do I become a good engineer?
Lots of practice. You just make a lot of mistakes, and then you learn engineering practice. Engineering is a practice-based skill. So the more you do it, the better you get.
Some folks like the PTO for volunteer services. Yeah, if you work at a company, I'll just give you some advice. If you run the company, just do it. If you work there, talk to the team. Usually they're called HR, and just say, hey, what would it take for us to do something like this? Put on them. Just say, hey. And then if they say, oh, we would need more information, be like, oh, I know this company in New York, and I'll send you our little policy thing. It's worked out great. Next up. Iowa's fine too, but there's just a lot of people in Minnesota right now. Look, this is how it is some nights. Some nights it's a Minnesota night. Yeah.
It's not just 49 other states.
Yeah. It's not, we're not picking anyone. Project question. I'm considering ordering a flex PCB for a prototype. Have you had any good experience with PCB houses that offer affordable-ish flex boards or any advice?
I think Oshpark has a flex service, so I would try them first.
Okay.
They'll definitely get you the best output.
Oh, wow. Someone in the YouTube chat gave us money and then they asked a question. Thank you. I want to come up with a CircuitPython device that can monitor the voltage of 16 batteries with a maximum voltage of 4 volts each. Which board would be best for that many or more inputs?
For 4 volts, the thing is, the CircuitPython boards, they all run on 3 volts, so you're going to need a voltage divider. for all of them. But you know, I don't know of any boards that have 16 analog inputs. Actually, no, the Grand Central has 16 analog inputs. So you could use the Grand Central, which runs CircuitPython, and then you would need to have resistor dividers for each board because there's no microcontroller that has 5-volt analog inputs and 3-volt logic. It doesn't really exist. So you're going to have to use resistor dividers on each one. So it's 32 resistors. But after you do that, you should just be able to use the analog inputs on the Grand Central to read your 16 batteries.
Okay. Thank you for the nice little donation. That was really nice of you.
Yeah, and then has good analog in.
Okay, can I send you a product to review at your catalog? What you do is email support@adafruit.com and just provide all that information, and our team takes that and they send it to us, and we take a look at us as a few people, not just the two of us, and we'll probably ask for pricing. We might ask, is there source code available? Is there schematics? Have you sold it before? One thing I'll ask, once in a while people will send us like, hey, I have this patented thing, and I want you to sign NDAs and do all this stuff. We don't do that, so please don't do that. Because we're working on lots of stuff. It would be not good to do that. Next up, I think, okay, Scott's helping out in the YouTube chat for this other person. Osh Park Flux service is awesome. That's what folks are saying. I think those are the questions. I think we're here right on time and on budget. Yeah, the person who was, I literally escaped from Florida. So the person who was talking about Fallon and Minnesota, yeah, I ran away from 16 when I was 16 because like Florida was not great at the time. Anyways, I'm glad we all, you know what, this is the cool thing about these shows we do. People
You never know.
It's like finding someone in the Matrix and we're all together doing our thing. I can't wait to see the Matrix. It's gonna be so good. I hope this, I hope that there's not going to be an outbreak again. I had such a good time going to see Dune.
That was fun.
Such a good time.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's our show for tonight, everybody.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
Let's do the code. Fill those cracks with gold. Gold. And thank you so much, Takara, behind the scenes tonight. I'm looking forward to getting a little bit more time because Takara and I are working on some writing projects soon. And stay safe, everybody. Watch out for the Autobots and Decepticons and the Omnicrons that are out there trying to get us. We'll be here next week, same bat time, same bat channel, all those things. This has been an Adafruit production. Thank you so much, everybody. Here is your moment of Zener. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.